What is up?
Mr. Reynolds.
Dude, you got the OG Coors in the hand.
That's right, my friend. That is right.
Yeah, I will tell you that I'm going to say it's Sam Elliott, but I'm not sure, who does the voice of the old Coors commercials. But I feel like
think you're right.
Elliott.
I think Sam Elliott is correct, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is 25 plus years ago. Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm fully aware. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm driving through San Jose, California one day, and I was going home or whatever. And Sam Elliott comes on the radio with a Coors commercial. And at that moment, there was nothing in the world that was going to make me feel better than a Coors. And I didn't drink original Coors. Like, that wasn't my drink. Okay. But I went and bought a 6-pack of original Coors and drove 10 minutes. I was an hour away from home, right? But I drove 10 minutes to my buddy Josh's house and rolled up and knocked on the door. And he and I sat on the porch and we each drank our 3 original Coors. And it was all because of Sam Elliott giving that just wonderful commercial speech. And
very nice.
I love it. It makes, so I feel warm and fuzzy still, to
That's
this
awesome.
day.
I haven't seen you or talked to you in a way too long.
Yes.
But congratulations on, I've been watching a bunch of the Beards and Burnouts and a lot of the new stuff coming out there. And dude, you're doing a cooking show now with your brother?
Yes. So me and my brother and Susie Bowder have started a food related podcast because Susie and I have been talking about it forever. And for those of you that don't know, I cook a lot. Like, that's my other thing. And so, so we started this food deal. It's called Everybody Eats, as sort of an homage to Everybody Poops, the book. Everybody Poops, right? I thought it was funny. So Everybody Eats, and we're doing it on the Tuesday nights that we're not doing Beards, Burnouts, and Beer, which is every other Tuesday. So then the every other Tuesday is the food one. So it's pretty cool. We have Power Shift tomorrow night, like our regularly scheduled Power Shift is tomorrow night. That's going to have Brian Stupsky, he's an illustrator, an artist, and super badass dude. So he's going to be on the show tomorrow. So yeah, tons of stuff going on, and it's fun. So you need to come on one of our episodes, even though you're so beautifully cleanly shaven, of Triple B. It'd be fun. So
yeah, that's still part of the Army in me. I have tried to grow facial hair, and I feel like I'm going to get slapped by a drill sergeant at any point. And so I can't.
Right. That's all right. You look good. You look lovely. Well, it makes you look 12. You look young and beautiful, and all those things, so it's good.
I love it. That's a good little transition. Did you hear Rich Pedraza sold the barbecue brand to Tom Bailey?
Yes.
It's being marketed under Sick Barbecue.
Yep.
And you can get all of the same stuff that was the Rich's is now just being rebranded. Rich is still the face of it. He's going to be involved with it and everything, but he's got a little bit of money, kind of behind it now, which is super cool. So big shout out to Rich, dude. Great job. Super cool for Sick to pick that up, and Sick Barbecue gets you those wares. And again, they're just really rebranded Rich's stuff. So he's got, the Daily Driver is now called Everyday, whatever.
Right.
So huge ups to him for, living his dream. It's super awesome.
It is awesome. And I've known Rich for a long time, and he's another Bay Area guy where I grew up. And he, it's funny because I've literally never gotten any of Rich's stuff, like any of his barbecue rubs or sauces or any of that, in actual like retail containers.
Right. They're in blocks.
Yeah. Like Ziploc bags or some like not Tupperware, but like, some screw top lid thing that's some weird jar. Oh yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. I love it. And I love him for that. And it's great. And it's super cool that he's, doing well and that he's keeping going, because he loves doing this, and he's great at it. I mean, it's good stuff. So I think it's awesome.
Totally.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give you, we're going to give you hell. We're going to give you guys an awesome show tonight. If you are new to Drag and Drive, you've never done a Drag and Drive before, or if you have and you're just like, hey, I want to hear some more tips and tricks, tonight is going to be the night. And tonight's show was going to be strictly about trailers, but because of some of the stuff that happened on Sick Week, some of the things that I saw, I didn't go this time, Adam went. But some of the things I saw and some of the things I saw posted on Facebook and I heard about and what have you, I figured we needed to address a few things. So I'm just going to let you know now.
Elephant in the room. We're not going to talk about any of the cheating / drama that kind of came out. That's not what this is about. This is going to be more about, none of that. But the life of this, the soul of this, how to do this and do this correctly and plan ahead. And we'll touch on trailers because that's going to be a part of it as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've got a bunch of trailer stuff, but
going back
we
to
get
it,
to that,
that section though, taboo, won't be talked about. Don't comment about it. We won't talk about it. Even if you comment about it, we're probably going to knock that, we're probably going to delete that crap anyway. So
correct.
Just put that out front. We're not going to get involved with that. We don't care about that. This is more for, hey, we just got done with this and we realized that we probably should have done this before Sick Week. So unfortunately, here's your post-Sick Week Drag and Drive 101 for everyone doing one of these the rest of the year.
Well, and the thing about it is that there are, we're going to start off with spares. Okay. We're going to teach you some lessons in this show. Okay. And we're going to go over a ton of trailer stuff. I have pictures and all kinds of things. We're going to talk about that. We're going to answer questions. We're going to do a lot of that. But
totally.
before we get
and do comments for questions like that. We do see those on the side of the screen here. So so feel free, jump in anytime.
Yes, and we will grab that. So here's the thing though. If any of the things that I say today, if you go, oh crap, he's talking about me, I might be. But we're not going to call out anybody by name because that's not the point of this.
Well, and honestly, if we saw you doing it, I also saw 3 more dudes doing it.
Oh, so yeah, exactly.
It may not be exactly you,
no.
But yeah, dude. I mean, you know, have thick skin here. You know, I mean,
yes,
this is a kind of learning thing here a little bit. And then real quick, let's talk. I mean, so you know, why are these guys talking this? Well, we got a little bit of clout, dude. You were on the very first drag week, 2006, with your 5.
2005.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Been doing them since 2005.
Right.
Did the first one with my 56 Chevy, did multiple with it. Did the only one I've never finished, I did in my Nova, which was 06 or 07. I finished every other event, regardless of what we were in. I have driven everything from, you know, cruisers like my 69 Camaro convertible, and Daphne's wagon to the S10 that I built with Larry Larson. So, and everything in between. And so we have campaigned 5-second streetcars, and 14-second streetcars and everything in between. So
absolutely.
And we have both thrashed and built and made mistakes and fixed things and all those deals. You know?
And then, just kind of me, my first was Drag Week 2014. P.S. Now my 10th year of doing something in drag and drive. Did the very first Rocky Mountain Race Week in 2015, which was, dude, only a few months removed from Drag Week 14, because we did ours kind of, you know, June time. So I did September, then June with the same car, and same co-pilot and same everything, and just kind of, that was very cool. My only failure, Drag Week 2016, had a trans failure and was close enough to the truck and trailer it made sense to pull the pin. But tugged it to Indy and made a pass at Indy with double X's on the window and put it back on the trailer and went home.
Yes,
so
which is awesome.
Because you got to race at Indy. I mean, thanks to Scott Kleppinger for opening his shop for me for that, by the way.
Well, and here Scott Malpass made a comment in the and this is the perfect transition for me to get into my first topic here. So Scott says, I'm protesting the 92 cars that didn't finish. And you know what, Scott? I am too. That is my first thing. And I said, this is going to sound harsh to some people, and I'm sorry, but a portion of you and a bunch of the 92, you shouldn't do drag and drives. You're not cut out for it. This is not your thing. Or you need to have learned serious lessons this year. And the reason that I'm saying that is that there were a bunch of circumstances, dozens of cars who were out of competition because of parts failure that they easily could have gotten another part for. And so let me give you an example. So if you are the only guy on the property who's running a 2JZ, let's just say, making it up out of thin air, you know, then you figure that nobody else there is going to have a 2JZ head gasket, right? Or piston rings, right? Because there's no other 2JZ guys there. So if that is the case, then those are parts you should bring. Now, for the sake of argument, let's say, you know, God, my 2JZ uses, you know, stainless O-rings and copper head gaskets, and I hurt a head gasket, and now I'm out of luck. Well, with rare exception, there's always another option. Okay. The race fix and the road fix are not always the same thing. And that's my big point I want to make today. So if you go, oh, well, I can't get a head gasket for my car in time to make the drive. Well, if O'Reilly's has a 2JZ head gasket, then you can make it. Okay. You can make it down the road, right? And you order from Summit because those guys will ship anywhere on the damn planet overnight to get your good one in to where you're going to be the next day.
Well, so, I mean, if you've watched 2 seconds of YouTube, dudes, Cletus made a car run on Flex Seal.
Yeah.
You know, is that ideal? Do you love that? No, but there's options. Like you can you can band-aid your bullshit together.
Yes.
And that's part of the, I mean, to be in the sick the mag kind of world, that's part of the fucking adventure.
Yes, it is. And there were people that were out because of that literally went, oh, this thing is making no power, and then found that they had bad rings or whatever. But the car was still running. Okay. And they then pulled the heads off or the head off, whatever, and go, oh man, it needs rings. Oh, we could probably get rings, but we can't get head gaskets, so we're out. Well, no, dude. I mean, a flathead has like 6-to-1 compression, dude. Like your junk will run on no compression. If it will idle and rev up to 2,500, you will make it down the road. So throw a $40 set of head gaskets on that thing and drive down the road. Rocker arms. The number of people who had rocker arm failure. Dude, I've been a victim of that. But you know what? You go to O'Reilly's, you buy a stock small block Chevrolet rocker and bolt it on there. And you know what? Who cares if your T&Ds that are on the other 7 cylinders laugh at that guy? That guy is still going to get you down the road. Do it. It's okay. Like wiring up lifters, doing all those things. We've done that for years. I mean, come on.
And so, and this isn't for everybody, because, I mean, I saw dudes pull in to checkpoints with magnets holding lifters up and stuff. So, I mean, they're doing it. It's happening.
Yes.
But not at the standard rate, man. Like, and you know, it goes into a little bit into packing. And I was talking to a guy about this at Sick Week, you know, and he was like, I'm trying to figure out how do you pack a car? And it really comes down to, okay, when you're planning, right? Like right now, you got your car apart and you're kind of getting your stuff like squared up. Imagine you're in third place. I don't care if you don't think you have a competitive car. By day 4, you might be in third place. So there you are. And in striking distance, right, of second or first.
Yeah.
So you need to realize that you, at any given time, you're on a podium.
Yep.
So you pack the car knowing that if I'm in third place, how far do I want to dig into the car?
Yes.
If it's bad, like, dude, if it's bad, you know, if you're pulling cams out and stuff, like, do you want to pack a cam?
Right.
You know, kind of thing. But if you're that competitive, then you might want to pack a cam, dude.
Yeah.
If you've got weird ass rockers, you might want to have, dude, like a side worth of rockers.
Dude, I rolled main bearings and rod bearings into a small block Chevrolet while it was still in the car with a dude. It was not my car. With a dude in the gravel at Thunder Valley on Drag Week one year. Like, dude, okay, literally rolling main bearing, got the pan off of this pile, get the, you know, literally loosen all the main bolts, get the thing to drop down so that the crank is hanging, roll the old bearings out, rolled new bearings in, put an oil pump in that bitch, and it finished the entire week.
So,
like, that's the difference.
Deal. Like we did have one. Dude put mains and a rod in a Coyote.
Yes. And
I mean, so it exists, dude. It's out there, but it's just at a smaller percentage, just because the attrition was insane.
It was, and again, I'm going to sound harsh because I want everybody to finish. So if I have to give you this kind of pep talk, right, and bust your balls in order for you to go, shit, man, I should have thought of this, then that's what we're going to do, you know? And so, you know, like Vince Rui says, turbo exhaust housing block off plate, you know, for a broken turbo. Yes.
Right. He started Rocky Mountain Race Week 15, the first one, with a twin turbo 5.3. And I think it had 4 gears at the time.
Yep.
And he pulled into Bandamere our last day, and it said on the back window, single turbo. And he had cut out a plate, taken that turbo totally apart to put a plate on, and it had a single turbo on a single bank.
Yeah.
On that thing, and I think it then had 3 gears.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was 4-3 or 3-2, something like that. But
yes,
he finished the thing. You know, and his China turbo is junk, but everyone's China's turbo is junk after 2,000 miles.
This is why Steven is my favorite co-pilot, is because Steven says I'm always down to rebuild all of the junk on the side of the road. And he is. Like without any hesitation, he's like, oh yeah, we're working on stuff, so it's all good. The Randy Miller, this is a great one. I carry stock LS valve train for road fixes. Might not be as good, but it might also get you to the end too. Now, and I will say that, like, I hate to break it to you, but it's just as good. Like, stock LS valve train stuff's good to 2,000 horsepower, like no problem. So, it just is. It just doesn't matter.
No, totally. That's part of that needs to be part of your planning too.
Yes.
There's a certain amount of stuff that you should put on your car that you should be able to get at O'Reilly's. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, if you've got a weird, wacky starter and you have to have a weird, wacky starter, then you better have two.
Yes.
Weird, wacky starters.
Yes.
So, because you're not going to be able to find your weird, wacky starter when you're on the side of the road in the middle of Kansas.
And
there's nothing. I mean, it's nothing.
And that is a key deal. We've said this one because we were there together, the alternator one, multiple times. Somebody came into the tower at Bradenton and was asking us to announce last year on Sick Week that they needed a part number XYZ 5000 alternator that was this whiz-bang PowerMaster alternator. And I was like, dude, you do know that PowerMaster uses stock case, like everyone's a stock case thing with their shit in it.
You
right?
just need to go ask for an alternator for a 74 Camaro.
Right. Like you don't, this is stupid. Like get one that will get you down the road. And with rare exception, that's totally doable. And so I think that one of the things that you have to remember is that you need to think in survival mode, not just race mode. It's a very important distinction, because there are, when everything's going right and you get to the racetrack and you do whatever you got to do to prep and you go down the racetrack and it hauls ass and everything's good and you're a one and done and you load your stuff up and head down the road and everything's good, great. But when something goes wrong, you have got to be in the mindset and have people that are with you to help you with this to go, okay, are we in fix it because we need to run fast again? Or are we in fix it because we need to get down the road to survive? Because we're
the furthest away from our trailer that we can be. And so we either need to limp this bullshit back or start figuring out where the closest U-Haul is to get it there at least. So you're not having to hitchhike on the side of the road and if you've never seen Race Week or Rocky Mountain Race Week routes, we have a day to drive. Our east-west, on both sides we have a day to drive, but it's 500 miles in a day.
Yeah.
So, if you just got done with Sick Week, dude, that's day 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
By the way,
exactly.
in one day.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Like literally fields in Kansas.
Right. So, the event you're doing is going to change too. A lot of these kind of weekend events, you're not very far away from stuff. However, you need to be, dude, walking 3 miles sucks ass.
Yeah.
Walking 50 miles is, you might die, like for real.
Yeah. So, and also remember that, I've always been famous for saying a closed mouth don't get fed. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about food, money, girls, whatever. If you don't ask for it, you ain't getting it. So I'm going to tell you, here's one other thing. I remember several years ago now being with Doug Klein and his 69 Camaro when he had
I missed that car, dude. By the way.
Me too. He had an oil pressure. He had an oil pressure issue. He thought he wasn't sure whether the sensor had gone bad or he really had no oil pressure. All indications were the engine had oil pressure, but he had nothing that said he did. And that thing's too expensive to just keep driving it in case. So I was on the side of the road with him and I called the nearest O'Reilly's to ask them if they had a mechanical oil pressure gauge set. And they did. And that was 1 hour away in the wrong direction. 1 hour in Kansas on a straight road.
Right. So it's 80 miles, dude.
Yes. And I asked them, I know this is going to sound weird, but is there any chance you guys could deliver that thing out here? This is where we're at. I'll send you a pin. Let me have the manager call you. The manager calls me. I'm on the phone with the manager. He says, where are you at? I share my location. He goes, He goes, you know what? That's really only about 25 minutes out of my way on my way home. And I'm going home in 30 minutes. I'll bring it to you. Well, when he got to us and realized what was actually the car, like I described it, but he didn't get it. Dude, right. He's in Doug's car getting his picture taken. Doug is like high-fiving him like right. This. We put it in there, hero deal, and drove down the road because we asked, right? And Doug gave him real money of a tip. You know what I mean? And that kind of stuff. But again, the guy didn't have to do that. But all you got to do is ask. And sometimes people will do great things for you. You know what I mean?
So I'll tell you, the one thing that Sick Week needs, Sick Week needs a competitor page. Someone that's a Sick Week dude, and I'm not talking about like an employee of Sick Week, but you guys need a social media page, y'all. All of the other ones do. It's a really good way to just kind of circle in on your own thing. Because they're all so different.
Yes.
But you guys need one where you're not in the regular kind of vapor of the world with 20,000 people telling you what you're doing wrong. Right. You guys need a couple of thousand people that either have done it or are going to do it in a little thing, but you need someone to step up and do that.
Right. Because it's different than the Sick the Mag Facebook page. Like that's all good, but that's not what this is. RMRWers. If you've gone on Rocky Mountain Race Week, then you can get into RMRWers. It's a different thing. And you guys, it would be great for you guys to have it.
Yep. So I started that at Race Week as a fan for a couple of, a place for dudes just to kind of hang out. And now it's a monster, and actually have created now a participant page as well. So we're trying to now get it back to what I initially planned for it to be before it exploded when Cletus joined.
Right. Okay. So I think we've beat on everybody about that. You got to think about the spares, the things that you are going to most likely need, the things that you are going to have a hard time getting. If it is very unique, bring those. And if they are not unique, think outside the box. Again, for the sake of argument, let's say you burned 2 pistons in an LS. And they're forged and badass and all that.
Right.
But you could put a stock LS rod and piston in it. Then, hello, how big are your balls? Are you going to do this or are you not going to do this? Again, and that kind of
even comes down to building the thing.
Yes.
If you can build it with a stock bore, you now have increased your opportunity of getting pistons tenfold.
Right.
Same deal. Imagine your third.
Right.
And dude, imagine your third at Race Week with $7,500 in grasp.
Right.
And I know we're talking a little out of the normal dude that fell out of this thing. That's going to win $7,500. You know what I mean? But imagine you're that much closer to $1,000. $1,000 is real money, dude. That just paid for your gas.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So, or a trophy or whatever. Who cares?
Right.
Do you want to get home?
Okay. I'm laughing at some of the comments right here. I'm reading.
Carlos Astor always has extra pistons.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I love that. Isn't that great? Nice. So some of you are asking specific questions, like Cody Sierra Green is asking, will there be a nitrous filling station at the track? A, I have no idea what track you're talking about. And B, we are not talking about any particular drag and drive. We are talking about all drag and drive events. This is not just about Rocky Mountain Race Week or Sick Week or Drag Week or any of them. Okay,
this is non-denominational. Pay no attention to my shirt.
Exactly. So quick though, I will give an explanation because Steve McDermott Jr. apparently didn't hear this. In 2021, everybody ended up on a gravel road in Oklahoma on the route that I had done. And the reason for that was totally accidental. You were not supposed to be. You turned one block too early because I screwed up and gave you that instruction. But What the reason was, if you'll remember that in Stillwater there, I had so many checkpoints because we had the Transformers and all those badass things there. So I'm like, oh, everybody needs to go to these 64 places. So what happened was everybody was supposed to drive into town one direction, and the short way would have made it so you had to like cross traffic to get into parking lots and all this junk, and it would have sucked. So I ended up making everybody do this sort of roll, circle around town that made it easier. Well, when I changed that, I did that at home on Google Maps, and I just looked at the map and picked the wrong road by 1 block. You were supposed to be on the other side of the county fair on a very nice paved road. And I had no idea. And Cole sends me a message and is like, why did you send us down a gravel road? I'm like, you're doing it wrong. There's no gravel road. Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure everybody felt like June did the route. I mean, she sent us down a gravel road a few times, so whatever.
It happens. Whatever. Yes. Ask the Wishmans.
Yes, exactly. About that. It's all fine.
But no, going back to thinking outside the box. Do junkyards, especially in the boonies. There's junkyards, so you can find weird, not even weird. You can find parts at the junkyard.
Of course.
Stock LS stuff, whatever. You need a starter. I mean, the odds are good.
You need a motor. The Wilsons have gotten the engine from Chad Ehrlich and put it in the car. I mean.
Right, dude. And I mean, that's a perfect example. Chad's place. I mean, imagine just breaking down right in front of that. What a treasure trove of just whatever you need.
I'd buy a truck and a trailer to haul all my shit that I bought from him.
Right, exactly.
I've bought things. Chad Ehrlich is so good. I bought a Suburban from him I've never seen except in a YouTube video. And I still haven't given him money for it yet. And I have not taken it. I've never seen it. It's still at his place. But at some point this year, it will come home with me. But yeah, because he has cool stuff and I couldn't say no.
Right. Yeah. But think about that. Think about machine shops. You know what I mean? Especially little town machine shops. If you need something whittled, or who knows, they might have a 5.3 piston sitting there in the trash can.
Yep.
That like, holy crap, here's one right here. Like, talk to you soon.
And here's another one that's a good one to bring, that as we're going to roll into trailers here in a second. But this is a good one to bring, is don't forget to bring toilet paper and a 5-gallon bucket with trash bags for emergencies. And that is not a bad idea.
No, actually, not a bad idea. That would have come in handy a couple of times.
Yeah, that would be better than leaning up against the side of your car trying to do that.
Yep.
So, hold on.
I told you to silence that.
I know.
You never listen to me.
I'm doing a podcast live right now, so you'll have to figure it out.
The other thing that I do, that you do, that makes a ton of sense is write your belt numbers and your hose numbers somewhere, because odds are really good that you're going to shred your belt and it's going to be on the highway about 757 miles behind you. When you realize that your car is super overheated and won't run because you've got 7,000 fuel pumps.
Right. And so, my recommendation is you put the part number, and if you never buy a hose that's like you leave stock, right? You're always trimming an inch off one end or whatever. Right. So I always do that. I'm like, it's part number XYZ 5000. And trim 1 inch off of the curved end or whatever. And dude, it makes it super easy. You're like, I got this,
Right. And I mean, you should carry a spare belt. I mean, like Steve McDermott says there. I mean, obviously that should be like regular everyday stuff, but dude, stuff happens. You're packing up and it's dark and you leave your belt there, and that sucks.
Yes.
Or, you set your spare tire on your belt and you jack it up, and crap, now I got no spare. What,
Right.
So I mean, yes, I get it. This is, again, in lieu of, regular thinking or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes shit happens. Let's say your trailer breaks off and careens off and blows up in the woods.
Right.
I mean, now what? Now what do you got?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, yes, having as much information as you have around, written on stuff, stuffed in places, put it in your wallet, put in the note on your phone, all that just the regular stuff that you can get at a parts store, but you don't know what the hell it's off of. But you need here's a part number. It was this, XYZ 5000. Right. I need that help, and your odds are better getting stuff.
And here's the other thing. Like I don't understand sometimes. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that your particular car has a tendency to eat, we'll just say alternators, right? That you for some reason, because you over rev the thing or whatever, you eat, on average, you go through 2 or 3 alternators during a drag and drive event, and you're like, oh my God, what? But it's a hard alternator to find. So order them ahead of time and have them at the local auto parts store. Like literally order one from every city's parts store where the race is happening. And then if you end up needing one, you go pick it up. Like O'Reilly doesn't care. Like, I'm sure somebody there's annoyed, but when you order a part, then they call you and tell you it's there, or they tell you it'll be there at noon tomorrow. Like, they don't take your money ahead of time. You don't have so do some planning ahead. Like, it's not that big a deal, or buy one and bring it and then return it at the end of the week when you don't use it, whatever. I mean, that stuff is not a big deal.
Exactly. And as especially like big shops, Summit and Jegs and stuff like that, they don't give a crap, man. They're going to take their stuff back and sell it to some other schmo, and life is good. It's just, that's just a thing.
So let's roll into trailers, because people are starting to talk. Dennis and Alex Taylor's trailer is spectacular. It used to suck, but it's really good now. It's and I don't have a photo of it. If you do, send it to me on Facebook.
I'll find it,
because I don't have one of it. But it has a really cool feature that makes it neat.
It's so good. There's so many good things you can do with trailers. Just start looking around. Ask guys about their trailers. Like, again, in these groups that you're in, that is an event that you're about to do, ask to see some trailers. Because people have thought about this since 2005. They've had to institute trailer rules because dude brought like a double axle car trailer with, an entire spare truck on it, hauled by a half-ton truck, which is what instituted the small trailer, So,
well, no, I'll give you, I'm the small trailer cause. So Jim Neuenfeld was the one that brought a full 2-axle open car trailer on the first year. And then they implemented I believe it was 12 feet. It was either 10 or 12 feet from ball to tail. I think it was 12. When they implemented that was all well and good. And then Larry and I built the S10. And when we built the S10, I built the trailer for it. And the trailer was literally a single axle short car trailer. The whole truck wouldn't fit in it because it was too short, but the whole truck would have fit in it if it wasn't so short. Like, that's the point. And Hot Rod lost their minds. They were not happy about that. They were too stupid to lose their minds about other shit that they should have done so that we didn't have cars like that. But instead, they chose to pick on the trailer, which is why we went to 4x8s. Now it's any single axle trailer. It doesn't matter. So even my big trailer would have been totally fine. But everybody still wants to keep with the spirit of the smaller trailer. So I have pictures of a bunch of trailers that I got from a video from a guy called Shop Dog Fabrication. Sorry. If you look
is that 1G or 2Gs? Shop Dog?
Yeah, no, it's 1G. But if you go look up Shop Dog Fabrication on YouTube, actually, here, I'll give a link to the video. If you go there, you can watch this video, and it has a bunch of these trailers in it and such. And this dude is a veteran of drag and drives. And you can see a bunch of the photos or a bunch of the trailers we're about to talk about can be seen in that video. But I also have a how to pack a trailer video from Doug at Motion. I don't think he's right on everything, but it's a good one to watch still. And he has some good stuff. There are also some, drag and drive and drag week trailer builds that you can find where people are putting them together and what have you. But but this will give you a good sampling of some of the stuff that you are going to see on the Drag and Drive event. So we're going to start with. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'll preface it with I am a less is more kind of guy. I like a small trailer. I like to put as much in the car as I possibly can. Yep. But if they're low and they're underneath your roof line, they don't become a big sail. Right. They don't weigh a jillion pounds, so they're you're going to carry the weight either way. If you can keep it right over the axle, you're not going to need a bunch of stuff like helper springs or any of that kind of crap. So I'll just start with that personally. I'm a less is more kind of guy on trailers, but I love trailers.
So this first one that we're going to look at is a good example of customization and function. It isn't pretty, but it works, and it's built on a Harbor Freight trailer. I don't know whose these are. I don't know who in particular own any of these trailers. We're just going to talk about them. This one has some racks and what have you. The reason that I chose this one is it's like a lot of them starts with a Harbor Freight trailer. And one of the things that is, a good thing to note on this is that some stuff is outside and some stuff is inside. And when I say that, I mean inside and outside with regards to the weather. Also, I like the fact that there's an easy up here. That is never a bad thing, except one thing I will say. If you leave your pit with your car and you have an easy up that's up, it needs to be securely fastened. Right. Because if you're the asshole that has the easy up that flies across the pits, people will hate you. So
I love the fire extinguisher on the front of it.
Yes, absolutely. I fully agree with you on that. The other thing is, I think that when you look at this one, you go, okay, it's got a little tire on the top, right? Which is a spare for a front, tire on the car. But the big tires are on the side at a comfortable height. Like, remember that, you can like up over your head is not comfy.
Right. And a lot of guys that especially I was talking to this week, you got to realize it's a marathon.
Yes.
What you're doing today, you have to do twice a day. So keep that in mind. Every like motion you're doing, if you're changing tires each time, you're doing twice a day. And especially on like Sick Week, it moved quickly. It was really fast paced. I don't know if I'm like out of like practice or something, but it seemed like we were constantly moving. And and that's doing that stuff twice it wears on you by day 5. And again, think about it. You're in third place. Like with second or first close to you. So you need to realize by day 5, you're going to be, you're dying. So set that stuff up ahead of time, and then where it's all at. It becomes kind of muscle motion. You practice it,
and along those lines, so when you look at a trailer, then compare it to this one where everything is inside. On the surface, you're like, okay, everything's inside. It's more secure. There is definitely that.
100%.
Nothing's going to get wet when it rains, because it rains on every single Drag and Drive ever in history. Okay, it's going to rain at some point,
and it's gonna rain either on the road or in the pits. And this one, you can lock all your stuff back in the pits and keep it dry. Yes. And the one thing that people always forget about is your laundry and your bags are out. They're going to be out, and if it rains, all your clothes are going to be wet like that. And then what?
Right.
You have the rest of the week with moldy, mildewy, shitty clothes. So you've got to have a plan for that. And this makes that easier.
Well, and one of the things, though, to note on a trailer like this, one of the downsides to an enclosed trailer like this one is trying to be addressed with the tilt up, roof. And that is so that you have better access to the stuff in the front, because otherwise all your stuff's buried. So if you just have one big box, basically, it's buried. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're somebody that is really on a regular basis, hopefully not going to need 75% of what's in your trailer, then that's okay, right? So you just need to pack it so that the things you're going to remove most often are easy to get at. And the other stuff, if it's a little more work, it's not a big deal if you're not going to use them every day, right?
Right.
But if you are, then you got to think about that. This is a good looking trailer. There's no doubt about it. But it's nice and low profile. I will tell you that one thing to remember though, with low profile, is like I towed a trailer with my Camaro, and it's a convertible. So we had the top down unless it was raining really hard. But you couldn't see the trailer in your rear view mirror.
Right.
If it wasn't for the fact that we mounted something on it so you could see it. Like, you just couldn't see it. It was back there. It was so low. Like, you didn't know it was even there. So, which does make it a challenge to back it up and those kinds of things. But, but still. So this trailer is fairly low, but you should be able to see it. But it's never a bad idea to like put a Adam and Chad bobblehead on the trailer, or a, cone or an antenna or something, so you can see it's back there.
Harbor Freight has those little, they're kind of nice, actually. They're the tongue balls. So you put one on the trailer, one on the truck. And this one looks like it's maybe aluminum, so you couldn't do that. But, stick one on the top if it's a steel trailer.
Oh, hell yeah. So now on the completely other side of the spectrum is this one, which is again a Harbor Freight trailer. And here's the thing. This is totally okay. All right. This, from a functional standpoint, this will be okay. And I am one person that I am going to tell you, I do not believe you should build a dedicated drag and drive trailer until you've done several drag and drive events. Now,
agreed. When you get that little trailer, it's really nice to have. All of a sudden, you've got a little nice trailer, and you've got a car that you can take to Home Depot that's easier to maneuver around than taking your big ass truck.
Yep, exactly.
Holy shit, you just use your streetcar as a streetcar.
Yes, exactly. Now Vince Rui has a great point on the height of trailers. If you're building one, make it low enough so you can change lanes without hanging out the window to see behind you. That's good. Also remember that on Amazon, you can buy dirt cheap, like $20, $25 wireless backup cameras. And you can just have the thing on all the time, and you can set that thing up to where it's on the back of your car or the back of the trailer so you can see behind you to change lanes or whatever. So that's always a good one. Janae is asking about transporting nitrous bottles in 100-degree weather. If they're not in the direct sunlight, they'll be fine. If there's airflow going around them.
Just make sure they're obviously like really well secured somewhere.
Yes.
Really, if nothing else, not to waste your money. It's probably not going to like injure anybody or kill anybody if it falls over in the back of a little trailer, or, even a U-Haul. It might fire out of the side of the U-Haul, worst case scenario. But what's more than likely going to happen is it's going to fall and it's going to crack open, and all your nitrous is going to be venting into your trailer and down the highway.
Yes.
And you will have basically flushed, I don't even know what a nitrous fill is these days, $60 down the toilet.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but here's my issue with that one. Can we back up real quick?
Yeah.
This one is great on the surface. This one is not secure at all.
No, that is the downside to this. So every night at the hotel, you have to unload all this junk and set it in the seats of the car or bring it into the hotel room with you, which is a pain in the ass.
Totally. And I mean, I hate to say it, that shit happens, guys. The world is what it is right now. I mean, we had tow rigs stolen out of Florida.
Yep.
I mean, we've had that happen on race week.
My recommendation is that when you're first doing this, if you find a good deal on a trailer, great. Otherwise, just rent a cheapy U-Haul. And they work great. Tons of people use them. It's like really common. Okay. And people stick big giant race week stickers on them and whatever, and they peel them off at the end, Also, for those of you that are like, oh, but what about putting stickers on stuff? If you have to put stickers on it, go ahead. But also remember, if you take a sticker and you stick it to your belly on your t-shirt first, then it's lower tack. And then when you stick it on the car, it'll come off later easier. So just a little,
And if you have a really big sticker, then you can see Chad and he'll help you out with that.
Yes, exactly. That was really good, dude. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Okay. So this one here is another Harbor Freight style trailer that somebody sheeted with plywood and what have you. And that works fine. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to be fancy. This one is fancy. This is what's the guy's name with the Ford? The F-100.
Daryl Stutzman.
Yes, see, this is Daryl's trailer. Now, the nice thing about Daryl's trailer is twofold. A, it's pretty.
Right.
B, it has a roof rack on it, which is nice and handy, right, for strapping tires and stuff to it. But I really like this little cage deal that he's got on the front of the trailer. Now, the only downside to that is that it takes up valuable tongue space. And so if you turn this thing too sharp, then that corner is going to gack your, this corner here is going to gack into your truck.
He's got a pretty truck. But if you got something with a bumper, it'll wang that thing. No problem. You're in good shape.
Yes, exactly. So this thing is cool and nice. Like this is good for carrying fuel, fuel cans and all that kind of stuff. So, definitely a good thing. Okay, now this is a very common size of trailer, believe it or not. And this is a motorcycle trailer or that ilk. This one, smart upgrade to a bigger wheel and tire, which is sometimes good, right? Adam has a little bitty yellow trailer called the Banana Hammock. And the Banana Hammock is little bitty and has those little tiny like golf cart wheels, but they're speed rated, so it's okay,
Right, and so I did that on purpose. Once I realized it was going to be really a difficult task to put a taller tire on that, I went and bought the nicest tires I could buy, and they're Chinese tires. They're all Chinese tires. But I went to a little local tire shop it's called Little Wheels and Tires. All they sell is less than car size wheels and tires. So, and he got me hooked up. I was like, dude, I just need the baddest tire you can get me for this piece of shit.
Yeah.
I know it's a piece of shit, but give me the nicest thing you got.
Right.
And he did, and it was great. And, but yes, the taller diameter, obviously, the shorter diameter is going to, turn more RPMs, and all the bearings and stuff in there are all garbage, dude. And they just are.
Yeah. So bring an extra, that's one of the spares you should always have. Spare tire for the trailer. And usually I would just get a spare hub. Especially if you have a little trailer, dude, the hubs are dirt cheap at Harbor Freight or Tractor Supply or wherever. And so is a spare tire. And the thing is that 90% of the time you can mount the two of them together and mount them to the trailer. So,
and bonus points, while you're at home, pack the bearings and then put them in a Ziploc bag.
Yes.
And then you don't have to dick with that while you're out on the side of the road.
Yes. 100%. And so Matt brings up the next deal, which I'm going to show in another trailer about
cool. Yes.
About tires and bolt patterns. We're going to show you that in another trailer.
You Ford and Mopar people are spoiled with that because there's so much trailer shit that's 5 on 4.5.
Yes, that's true. That is absolutely true. Now, this trailer is badass. This trailer, it looks like it's a motorcycle trailer, but it's pretty good size. I love the dish mags that match the Mustang. It is reminiscent of the swoopy U-Haul trailers, the Sportster or whatever they called them. They're really hard to find now, but I like this thing. But one cool thing on this one, and, I would have it in the car, but if not, the cooler. Having your cooler on this thing is smart. You need to carry all the spares, all the tools, all those things, but you also need snacks and drinks are an absolute must-have on the trip, as well as a first aid kit of some kind in the car, in the trailer, both, whatever. Like that's part of it. Now, this trailer opens up. If you'll notice, this right here is the latch. So the thing opens sideways. Yeah. And it's cool. Because it's not very deep. So even though it's just a big tub, it's not very deep, which means that you're not going to have stuff buried underneath other stuff as much, which is going to make it handy to use. And I like it. It looks cool as hell.
No, it's super neat. I like that too. It's got the taller tires and odds are good. That's 4-lug. That Mustang could be 4-lug. I doubt it.
Could be. Yeah.
Could be.
But if I had a Pinto,
share.
I would tow it with that. I would tow that trailer behind my Pinto.
Totally. What I would do is on this one, plan on, it's fiberglass. It's plastic.
Yeah.
With that hinge, mine's kind of the same way. Get yourself a kickstand or something.
Yes.
To put underneath it because it's going to be kind of open all day. Odds are good.
Yep.
Or even if it's not, when you leave it open, give it a little extra support because mine's now pulling a bunch of the plastic out of the side and all that.
Right.
It's no good. And I should have come up with just something. And you could do something super easy like an old school hood hold up. Like
prop rod and exactly.
And just cut that thing off at whatever length you need it, and you're off and running.
100%. The other deal on this one is, if you notice under here, that's the spare tire. Also very smart. The other thing, this trailer has more lights than it's required to have. That is never a bad thing because people try and change lanes into you when you have a trailer that is not lit up properly. So
totally, and especially drag week, sick week. The guys, you guys that drive at night, race in the morning, and you're going to inevitably end up at the hotel at night. You got to make sure all the lights on your stuff are tight.
And LED lights are dirt cheap, so put them on it, dude, because it'll light the thing up like daylight. It's way better. And in fact, if I had this one, I would have little hood prop rods like Adam said, and I would have LED strip lighting inside the roof of this thing so that when I was out in the dark, I could turn them on and have, a good lit up work area.
Everybody, whatever toolkit you've got, if you're a Milwaukee guy, I don't care. If you're a DeWalt guy, I don't care. If you're a Snap-on guy, I don't care. Get an adapter for whatever battery your tools are that you can wire into regular lighting. 18-volt stuff is fine. 20-volt stuff is fine. 12-volt stuff is fine. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
LED lights all work between 9 volts and, some as low as 5, but typically 9 volts to 24 or more, volts. So it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So, but get those strip lighting things, dude. They're cheap. You can get them on Amazon, whatever. Yeah. Here's a tech tip from me as an industry dude. I sell actually outdoor landscape lighting. You can use those, and they're meant to be submerged. Like you can get pond lights that are intended to be underwater.
Yep.
And you can use those as lights for all your stuff. And then, hey, it rains, your crap's not going to junk. It's meant to be submerged. You can sure drive through a rainstorm with it, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember too that on Amazon, those outdoor lights, like the outdoor like security lights and all that, dude, the solar powered ones that are available now are incredible and work great. And there's no reason not to, put a couple of those on the side of your trailer and be able to turn them on and off. You don't have to carry batteries or anything. It's great.
Yeah. And inevitably you're going to end up needing to work on your shit in the dark. And that's either if it's at the racetrack or if you're sitting on the side of the road and, dude, you would hope that you're at the racetrack. I mean, just here to tell you, I've done it both ways. Fixing your car on the side of the road sucks ass.
Yep. James says, Steve McDermott talked about his lights. James says underglow lights make you very visible as well. He has some under his trailer that turn red when he hits the brakes. Nothing wrong with that.
And he's one of our motorcycle dudes. So as bright as you can make your motorcycle, it's better. And he's got it. His motorcycle's like royal purple.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Good. It's so good.
So this trailer here, this black one that's on now, it's this trailer, right? So it's this same trailer. Now note that the back comes off one big panel. Okay. Well, so does the front. That's is nice ingenious. Because on this trailer, that makes it so that the furthest anything away from you is 2 feet, let's say, right? So that's pretty good. You'll also note that there is 2 levels at the front of this trailer, which is also good because you can only stack so much stuff on top of other stuff before it starts squishing things. we're going to get into how to pack and all of those things later, but totes are your friend, etc. So we'll talk about some of those. Now, this is a snazzy looking trailer. This one I'm going to use as the example for what Matt was talking about with regards to bolt pattern. So the wheel on this, trailer is, looks to be perfect for a front runner on your average car. So
it's a Jegs front runner.
Yeah. So if you have another one of these as your spare, right? And then you have a spare rear wheel and tire, let's say, for your car, then as long as you don't have a flat on the trailer and on the car at the same time, then you're pretty well set, right?
Right.
So,
right. And even if you do, you can leave your trailer there. You can get your car to some place to get another tire on your trailer and get back and pick your crap up, and then you're off and running.
100%. The and this is a nice trailer. It appears to be a custom build. I like it though. Again, roof rack on the top, and a nice set of doors, right? That opens wide. This door is on the front. There is obviously another door on the back. Whether they're separate compartments, I'm not sure, but I do dig that. And if this was mine, I would have this thing set up to where the stuff in the front of this trailer here would be the things that you absolutely need every time, and especially the things you might need if you had to change a tire or anything else on the road.
Right.
That's that joint right there, and I dig it.
It's got enough tongue length that you can open those with it attached to the car, no problem.
Correct, and that's exactly where I was going. Now, the only thing I don't like about this trailer and several of the others is that I'm not as big a fan of the single tube. I'm a welder and a fabricator, so I'm not a fan of the single tube, tongue. I would prefer to have more. Now, if this is a trailer where this tongue is removable, which it might be, I would probably just make some bolt-on, struts to triangulate this thing. And it sounds funny because I know it's a little trailer, but the truth of the matter is that some of the trouble that guys have had with them flipping over and stuff is actually because of that. So the tongue gets, flopping around. So
totally.
Let's see. Lycan says 10 amp hour lithium ion batteries are like $30 and can power LED lighting for hours and hours and weigh 2 pounds. 100% right, dude. 100%. And if you put a little solar charger on the roof of your trailer hooked up to that battery, it'll be charged all week long, no problem.
So, and then let's talk real quick about your trailer that you're towing to the event with, because we had a ton of trailer issues getting to Sick Week this time. So you're talking your big trailer, your big truck. Guys, you got to look over all of your stuff. The more axles you have on the ground, the more, look at everything that's going to be rolling. So if you've got your little trailer behind your big trailer, behind your dually, dude, you're, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 axles on the ground.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen. So, you got to go through all that stuff and make sure it's tight. We had guys hit big potholes and literally pull the spring shackle, or the spring shackles out of the frames of trucks or trailers. Yep. And you can't plan on that kind of stuff, but you got to look at all that stuff before you go. That's kind of step one. Make sure you got all that, bearings, man. That's going to be what's going to kill you.
And just like your car, do a full nut and bolt on your trailer before you go. Another thing that I would recommend, and I didn't think of this, but I know several guys that do this, is that at home, tow the trailer around fully loaded. Also, there are guys that I know, and again, this is not my idea, but it's brilliant, who pack the trailer and do all that and then work on the car leading up to the event. Their month of prep or whatever is all done working out of the trailer. And that is a smart idea, because what will happen is you're going to go, I never touched that. I don't need that tool. And my God, I had to go to the toolbox 3 times for that one. I need to bring that.
Exactly. So as long as you possibly can, work out of your trailer and work out of your toolbox you're going to bring with you. 100%. That's 100% key. And you can tell when a guy hasn't done that, because and that kind of goes back to when you're planning.
Yes.
You're in, plan on being in third place. Okay, I need to bring head gaskets, which means I need to retorque my heads, which means I need my good torque wrench.
Yep.
So you may not need your wicked good torque wrench, but you need something that's not going to, leave you stranded again and have to do it all over again.
Right.
So now you have to have another tool. So, as you dig deeper, the nicer tools and the nicer stuff you're going to need. So keep, again, plan on that. What's first place going to be worth to you when you're in third?
Yes. Now, this trailer is interesting. I like the fact that the sides open because it makes it nice to, be able to reach in and what have you. And the totes are handy, obviously. If you have to get in all the time into just totes to get the tools out, though, it's going to be a bit of an issue. But as you can see, there is a nice toolbox on the front of this trailer instead. And if you pay attention to this here and this rod here, all of this is a setup that bolts over the top of the lid of the toolbox to lock it and make it secure, which is pretty smart. If this were my trailer,
that's good, except it's not waterproof.
Correct.
So if you've got something to cover it with, or dude, Milwaukee has those pack out boxes now.
Yep, which are pretty cool.
You can kind of build around, and those things are waterproof. Stanley's got a toolbox that has a gasket around the top that makes it waterproof. But plan on it raining, and every one of your tools is going to be rusty and shitty by the time you need it.
Yes, exactly. Now, this is a pretty good sized trailer, so it's going to depend on the car as to how it is to pull. If you're building your own trailer, remember, you got to remember that there is, real math on where your axle should be. And in order to provide enough tongue weight, but not too much tongue weight. Of course, if you put all the heavy shit in the front, it's going to weigh a jillion pounds. So you need to pay attention to that too. And, realistically, if you've got a 69 Camaro, you shouldn't be pulling a trailer that weighs, 1,500 pounds. You know what I mean? So, but let's say for the sake of argument, it weighs 1,000 pounds. Then you want 10% of that in tongue weight, which means you want 100 pounds of tongue weight. So, put the bathroom scale under the damn foot of the tongue and, get everything close, set to where it gets there. That's what you need to do.
Here's the other thing I would do to this one is create a way that it can lay those lids down 90 degrees. Yeah. And then you have shade.
100%. That is a huge deal. Shade is really important, more than you'd think, but it matters. Now, in my opinion, if you can get yourself some shade without it being from an easy up, it's just less work and less stuff to haul. Biggin's trailer has awesome big sides that fold out and make great canopy to protect the keg. So it's easy to go.
I was going to say, and beer, and I poured myself a beer at a gas station with it here at Sick Week, and I actually spent a little bit of time with Biggin. I'm a Biggin fan.
Yes, Biggin is my dude, and I know that you drank a beer out of it. I saw the post, and I flipped you off like this on the computer repeatedly because of it.
Good.
Just saying. It's fine.
And he actually, at about day 3, I was over kind of walking the pits, and he was underneath his car, and I could barely see him, and I think he barely caught me, through whatever. And he goes, "Oh, Adam, I've got a problem." And I was kind of doing in-pit reporting and stuff, and shooting stuff up to Derek, so he had some kind of near real-time information to talk about to people and whatnot. But he goes, Adam, we got a problem. And I was like, Biggin, what's up? And this is a day after he blew the burst panel out of it and peeled the lid off of off the hood. So, I'm like, hey, I thought it maybe got hurt. Or, if you blow a burst panel, that could be easy or bad. And, whatever. Anyway, so he goes, yeah, I got a problem. We're out of beer. I'm like, well, you got to figure out beer, pal. It's only day 3. What are you doing? Do you at least have margarita mix? No, I ain't got none of that. Yeah. Finished the whole week without beer. So I felt bad that I had 2.
What?
3.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to talk to him about this. See, that's poor planning. There should have been a keg ordered along the way. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Come on, Biggin. Come on.
What are you new at this?
I know. All right, so this little
is
trailer,
like mine, dude.
Yeah, this looks like the banana hammock.
This is the banana hammock. So this is exactly what so I'll speak to this one because this is what I do, dude.
Yes.
So this guy's smart. He's got the tire kind of strapped to the outside there, but I lost a tire doing that. So probably prefers something more than what he's got, but it is what it is. Again, the plastic, this thing probably hinges this way.
Yep.
Or up.
It hinges like it unhooks at the back and opens up, like a trunk lid. It hinges at the front.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So yeah, that's not too bad. You don't really need a kickstand or anything like that for it. The negative is it's a little bitty trailer. So this guy's tire is his, lookout point.
Right.
Which is fine. You know where the front of your trailer is. Life is good. But again, the little bitty tires on the little itty bitty axles, plan on and have a complete separate hub.
Yep.
Because odds are really good you're going to burn one of these up. And that's same deal. I've got one. It's in a box. I've got the bearings pre-greased inside of a Ziploc bag. It's doing, as long as it doesn't kill the spindle, then I'm fine. But if it killed the spindle, I would just leave it there in the middle of the road.
Right.
Because unfortunately, you've lived your life. Appreciate it. I'm going to get a better trailer. But this is a great entry trailer. I think I bought my trailer for $75.
Yeah.
Brad Stapp has a trailer that's identical to this one that I think he bought for maybe $1.25. So you can find these. They're super duper cheap. And they're so much better than the fanny pack or trying to jam all your shit in your car. I'm telling you, you work up to not having a trailer, but start with a trailer.
Yeah.
If it's your first one, please bring a trailer and bring too much stuff because it's so much better than not bringing a trailer and not bringing enough stuff because then you're borrowing stuff from everybody.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be that guy.
No. So Steve McDermott Jr. says, also, where is the workbench? I'm adding a 24 by 36 inch folding workbench to my trailer to fix stuff on, which is a genius idea. Biggin's trailer also has a full big work table that is the back of the trailer. So Biggin's trailer opens from the sides, but the back of the trailer also, the door opens up, but then you can lower it down to table height while it's open, and it's pretty handy. That's a pretty cool deal.
Do you have a picture of Bill Armstrong's in this?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
Bill's is good.
Bill's is baller. The top has, obviously it's top, and then it can go to, 90 degrees, but then it can flip all the way back around.
Yes.
So it has a pin to hold it here, and then kickstands to hold it here.
Yep.
So it's a shade, it's a workbench, it's easy access, it's everything you need. And then the back opens, and then the entire top is solar panels.
Yep.
And he's got like a 2,000 watt inverter in that thing. It's baller, and it's got the same exact tires that his Fairlane has, and they're painted the same. They've got the same hubcap. It's got the same exact size tire.
Yeah,
it's very
really
good.
Clean,
and it's all aluminum, so it's light, it's low, it's sleek. It's very, very good.
Oh yeah. And that, and keep all those things in mind. And the reason that I'm showing so many trailer pictures here is so you can see that there are all these different styles and different things people have done with them. And this is so dead simple. This is a little, 4x8, or 4x6 trailer. And all the tires and wheels are in there stacked up, all the fuel jugs together, the cooler together, and one toolbox. I mean, the truth of the matter is there's not a lot of stuff that, is going on this trailer. There's nothing fancy about this, but it all fits in there and it's all secure. It's not all going to fly out of the thing.
Totally. And you could really easily build like a rod that could go through your wheels and tires and lock it to the trailer.
Yep.
And actually maybe not unload those at every hotel, just like the really shady ones.
Yep.
And the toolbox will lock. And I mean, it's your call on the fuel, it's six, is a guy going to steal 300 pounds of fuel and tools and bolt? No, probably not, dude.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, this thing, you're not really unloading, which is nice. It's light. It's easy to repark. if you need to, you and a buddy can park the thing on the grass with just, your hand power and rehook the thing back up in the morning.
Now, this is one thing that I wanted to comment on, is, and I'll use this trailer. Well, two things. Number one, you'll notice at this corner that there is a little stand sticking up here. And I am assuming this is so that when he's backing it up, he can see this thing. I don't know. But the second thing I would say to do is, if you have a co-pilot, it's not too bad on this trailer for each of you to grab a corner and lift it up off the ball on your car and move it back.
Yep.
If you're by yourself though, or if your trailer doesn't have a handy place to grab hold of it, then it needs to have a swing down tongue jack with a wheel on it, or else you need to put a handle on it. Like I mean, literally can be a bar or whatever, something easy so you can grab hold of this thing and control it.
You got it. Right.
Yep, because otherwise you pick this thing up and it's all wobbly and out of control, and all of a sudden you bashed into the tail panel on your Nova and you're pissed, right? Like that sucks.
Or you smacked it into the side of, Doc McIntyre's Camaro.
Yes. And he can kill you with medicine, so I wouldn't do that.
So, I mean, whatever. But no, so for real, practice that stuff, load it all up, and see if you can move it easily.
Yes.
Sometimes that's a whole lot easier than backing that shit up.
It is. Also, I would say, don't forget things like safety chains and all those things. If you're on Rocky Mountain Race Week, if you don't have vented rotors on your car, then on the front, then you have to have trailer brakes. And quite frankly, why wouldn't you? They're cheap. I mean, literally a hub with trailer brakes versus a hub without brakes is like $10 difference in price. Well, so just do it. It's nice.
For race week, I would propose everyone put vented rotors on your stuff, guys.
Yes. I don't see why there's a problem with that.
Yes, I understand that, you're rotating weight and whatnot and who's it, but guys, we're racing at 5,800 freaking feet of real altitude.
Yeah.
How much is your actual life worth? Because we race at 5,800 feet altitude, we drive to 10,000 and then come back down to race at Pueblo, which is 6,200 or something. I mean, it's
right.
Or whatever. So you're going to be slow. It's no big deal. You can put the big brakes on the stuff, and then you don't need to bother with dealing with trailer brakes, especially if you've got a little bitty trailer. I mean, there's just no way. You're going to have a 3,500-pound axle all cut down on one of those stupid little motorcycle trailers. It ain't going to happen. Just put vented brakes on your stuff, and for this one event, you have vented brakes, and you can drive through the mountains, and you can actually enjoy yourself and not just grabbing the wheel, death gripping, thinking that you might die.
Right.
Enjoy this. It's fun as shit, and it's super nice out. I promise. Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing finer than driving through the Rockies. It's amazing. So, okay. So then moving on, here's another typical enclosed. This is a bought, trailer that has some tire mounts mounted to the sides of it. This is a commercially available trailer. It looks nice. There's nothing wrong with this at all. I do like the fact that this thing has a lot of lights and reflectors on it, which is cool. There's LED lights up here on the side at each corner. There's ones down here on the bottom. It's got tail lights and brake lights and all that. It's got more marker lights up here. Again, you can never go wrong with them. So these little lights, I have a bunch of these because I've used them on trailers and then on the flatbed I built for my dually. And they take a 5/8 inch hole. You just drill a 5/8 inch hole and then they just plunk in the hole. They're badass and they're super bright and great and they work like a champ. So
yeah, and that's an example of, that's a plug and play trailer, but that's probably a $2,500 trailer.
Yeah, it is. I would bet you're right. Now it appears to have a power port or something up here, which is cool. That's always smart. Somebody mentioned 12 volt and USB ports and stuff on the outside of the trailer. It's a great idea. If I owned this trailer, it'd have solar panels on the roof without any question. the nice thing about a commercially made trailer like this, but easy copy, because this is aluminum, but it's easy to copy because all of these parts are available. The hinges, the latches, all that stuff's available from like Redneck Trailer Supply or a million other places. But this is a really secure trailer door. And if you've got shit in there that's worth money, then that's smart, Yep. This one, I know this trailer, and I know this trailer, and I dig this trailer. This trailer is one of the multi-layered or two-story trailers, if you will, as I call them.
Yep.
And it's cool because this trailer has a regular deck down here. There's toolbox and such inside, and then a closed rack on the top. This is behind what is this? Is this car is that RX-7 that pulls this thing, I think? Yeah, it's little. So there's not a lot of luggage room and all that. This is nice. The only thing that I would say on any of these kinds of trailers, and you can get into trouble with the box trailer too. Like this one is not impervious to this problem, but a little less likely is that if you get too much weight up here on the top, this little bastard will end up over on its side. So you need to be careful of that for sure. Pay attention. I do like the fact that this thing has the drink cooler on here. That's the one that you just fill with ice and water or lemonade or, vodka and lemonade or whatever. But
whatever.
But stay hydrated. It's important. Legit important.
And especially the June, July events.
Yeah.
Guys, it's hot. It's just, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's hot.
Yep.
We did one with Bill Armstrong and Rich Guido, and Rich was having some fuel boiling problems that we can get into in a future episode that we can help you fix those. But we had to stop at one point, and guys, everyone needs to pour water on yourself. Sergeant Dorey came out.
Yes.
We had a ton of heat injuries in Iraq, and I saw Rich getting ready to fall out. And so, we took an hour, and we just laid out. We let the car chill out.
Yep.
And you have to do that. You have to keep an eye on each other. It's a real thing. The only 100% confirmed, only death on drag week was due to heat exhaustion.
Yeah. Yep.
So you gotta hydrate, and that's such a good idea. There's a lot of ice vending machines in the Midwest.
Yep.
You can vend yourself some ice, jam it in there.
Yep.
Shit, 3/4 of it'll be to water in an hour.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the best water you ever had.
Absolutely. One of the other things too is, like Trey Allen, you're asking about tips and tricks, dude. We're going to get to those. We're going to have an open question and answer session here real soon. So stay with that. Lycan has a great one. And this is one I have done on every trailer I've built, back corner supports. So what that means is, like on an RV trailer, you've got the 4 corner little stands for when you park it, right? That stabilize the thing.
Yeah,
that they flop down. Dude, you can buy those in all kinds of sizes that are telescopic with you put a pin through them or whatever. Dude, that is the best deal. If you get a pair of those, bolt them onto the back of your trailer, and you take it and you put the tongue of the trailer a little low, okay? Lower those down till they hit the ground and then raise the tongue up. Dude, that thing is rock solid. And that is great when especially if you have a trailer you're going to get in and out of, which you are going to do with some of these trailers. So please, that's a great one. Timberly St. Clair Martin, you are a genius and right. Wheel chocks. Chocks are good. And in fact, I have a trailer that I'm going to build that'll be the ultimate drag and drive trailer. And I've already got this thing designed and I've had it in my brain for years, but that thing is also, because it's badass, it's going to end up with a wheel lock, like a wheel chock, the boot, if you will. There are several people that run those on their cars and their trailers at night. Alex Taylor is one of them. Also GPS tracking units in your cars. Those are really smart. So for sure, Donovan Linwood said, carry spare fuel. Obviously there's lots here. Remember, you might need pump gas. So like have one jug that's just pump gas, you know?
Right.
And you know, you're going to be happy that you did, because either you're going to need it or somebody else will. And the only thing cooler than having the stuff you need on you to fix your junk is having the stuff on you to fix somebody else's junk. That's awesome.
Plus, if you have pump gas, at sometimes that could be worth more than anything.
Oh,
and
yeah.
People will pay you ungodly amounts. And I'm thinking about you and Daphne paying me for pump gas at one point.
Yes, 100%. And I'm the king of running out of gas because we never have working gas gauges. But yes, 100%. Jason Schaefer says having running water on the trailer. And you know what? That's not a bad idea. The truth of the matter is this cooler, you know, jug up here, that thing can also wash your hands off. And having wipes, like dude wipes, or having the what's the mechanics?
They're the like the grime hand.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
those ones, they are Grime Boss or something like that.
Those things are great.
They're great. I've cleaned wheel bearings with those actually in a pinch. You know, it's not ideal, but it works better than dirtying up an entire roll of paper towels.
Oh,
and I
did
see Jason Schaefer's deal. He had like a little RV pump, 12-volt pump.
Yeah.
And it is pretty nice, a little extension. But Jason's the guy that has Angel, the dog, with the chicken coop.
Yep.
So he can kind of wash her off and cool her down. He can pour her, an easy bowl of water, and easily wash your hands. But no, for sure, bring
tub of towels. Tub of towels. Brian
tub of towels. It totally is.
Yep.
Tub of towels are great, and I like to bring a bar, old school bar of lava.
Yes.
I don't really like the creams for this because
I don't care. I'm good either way, but the bar takes up less space and isn't a mess if it pops open and squirts shit all over the inside.
I've had the cream squirt all over the inside of my tool bag, and I'm dealing with freaking Gojo all over my shit. Stupid.
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. I had the cream squirt all over the inside.
all over the inside of my fucking tool bag.
Adam Dorey with cream in his tool bag again.
That's right.
Shut up.
I go the old school lava bar now. That's my jam, and it works awesome, and at least enough to get you back to the hotel, and then you can dirty up all their junk.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Okay, so next one. Now, whoever owns this trailer, hey, dude, good for you. This trailer, I would lose my mind. This thing has way too much.
Those are under truck boxes.
Yes, under truck boxes is a good idea. And I'm sure that this tote and these bags don't actually go here normally.
Right.
But just looking at this makes my OCD hurt. Like my brain hurts looking at this. It does. It hurts me.
Here's what that is though. That's a jet ski trailer.
It is. Or I think so anyway.
I think that's a jet ski trailer. And that's badass because I saw a handful of really good jet ski trailers at Sick Week, and probably not because, it's not an accident that it was in Florida, because all those dudes have jet skis.
Right.
But the jet ski trailer is a good start because it's aluminum.
Yep.
It's already kind of set up with stuff. So if you need parts, it's go to a regular everyday whatever trailer shop and get parts for it, which is very nice. But yeah, that's if you do it better than that, if you execute it a little better than that, it's a good deal.
Yes. If I was giving an award for best trailer in these ones that I pulled randomly, I'm going to say that this one and this one, which this one belongs to, oh my God.
Is that Dustin Cottle?
No, I don't think so. This is Blue Camaro. Oh my God. Professional baseball pitcher.
Clint Sadowski.
It's Sadowski's trailer,
You're totally
I think.
Right. That's 100% Sadowski's trailer. You're totally right.
So Sadowski, I would give, I think this is the best trailer. This one and the orange one are the best two on the deal here. But I really dig Clint's trailer. Like, this thing is cool and it's smart and it's well thought out.
Yeah.
And and the fact that it's pulled by a blue Camaro, which I happen to own, I love that too. So
here's the thing though, is like I said, if you're new, if you're brand new, figure out a trailer. If it's just renting a U-Haul trailer, you're going to have a better time because to be 100% honest with you, for your first one, you need to overpack.
Okay. Oh,
you know what I mean?
No, Dustin Cottle says it's his.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Well, there you go. Then Dustin Cottle, it's yours.
Damn, there you go. But that said, bring a trailer, especially your first one. I know, again, you're kind of new. You're trying to kind of feel it out and whatnot. You're going to have 100% better time if you have a trailer.
Yes.
100%. Like I'll guarantee it to you right now. There's not any person that's gone to a trailer that said, man, I wish I hadn't have gone to a trailer. Some people have gone backwards because it's easier, but most of them will tell you that they would prefer having a trailer given the situation. Right.
So now I'm going to show one more trailer, and this is Alex's, because Wickman sent me photos of it. This is badass. So their trailer used to suck. It used to just be a lid that opened and you just dumped everything in, and you might as well have literally just thrown things in. It wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
But then Dennis redid the trailer, and it is awesome because, so here it is from the back. It's got 2 levels, right? So you can slide everything in there. You're good to go. And then from the sides, though, it has these shallow shelves that are carrying, in this case, on this side, oil and fluids and spares and whatever. And on this side, all of the tools standing up, which I'm in love with that. Like,
it's
that
so good. And
is badass.
Just the organization of it.
It makes me happy.
You know what you're missing. And you're going to be, again, think about your day 5. You haven't slept more than 3 hours for a week, and you're driving and you're dead, and you're having, the worst time of your life, but all of a sudden you're in second place.
Right.
Okay. Now I need to make sure I have all my tools before I leave. So, I mean, my odds are good that if I leave my 10 millimeter out, not will I only lose my 10 millimeter, I'll drive over it with my car and poke a hole in my only drag radial that I need to keep my lead for day 5.
Right. Well, and so here's a couple of things too in this photo to look at. So there is a generator down here. Okay. Which probably goes into like this section of the trailer or what have you, knowing Dennis.
Right.
A generator is not a bad idea, not a requirement, but not bad. If instead you have a solar charger and a couple of good batteries and an inverter, you're going to be fine most of the time.
Totally. You can get
Pro jacks and stuff for these cars that are the, and so they have to have a hydraulic pump to run, and they're using that. Now, honestly, a lot of the pro race teams now are using Kenny Hubbard's new dual Makita battery hydraulic setup for Pro Jacks. It's badass. It's so fast to launch the car up in the air. I'm not kidding you. It's nuts. But yeah, I mean, there, you can take some, learn some lessons from these. Now,
yeah, dude, and like I've got a generator that I bought that's it's a little 1800 watt, I think, something like that. It was $329.
Yep.
So, not the end of the world. No. Also, they have the inverters that are the ones that go on top of the Milwaukee 18 volts.
Yep.
And they've got an inverter for a Ryobi 40 volt, which is also what my trimmer is.
Right.
That's the same deal. So utilize options for everything.
Right.
I mean, as much power as you can get, you're never going to be like, man, I wish I hadn't have brought that stupid little thing that's this big that charged my laptop to put the tune in my car to win $7,500.
Right. Yeah.
Hard stop.
Yep. So, okay, this one is great. Brian Anders is right. You can't do trailer burnouts without a trailer. Now, right. I will say, be very particular on what transmission is in your car and what the proper procedure should be then for doing trailer burnouts, because trailer burnouts can be hard on Sprags. I'm just saying. So here's another good one too. Race is right. Workbench space, big deal.
Yep.
But this one's important too. So Steve McDermott says, I have a 55 amp hour under trailer battery with a 1500 watt inverter. I brought a 3000 watt generator and only used it the last day to make breakfast on the hot plate. Okay. Now the reason this is important is not just the battery and the inverter, but the key is the under trailer. People do not use the space under the trailer enough. And for things that you are never going, like, why put your battery inside the trailer where you only have to worry about like things hitting it and shorting and all of that crap? If you put an AGM or a lithium or whatever that can go outside and be mounted in any orientation, put it under the trailer and you've just given yourself more space, which is really, really good. Stuart Clifton says he always brings a jump box. That's a great one.
Yeah,
Matt Frost carries his Pro Jacks under his trailer. So those things are genius. And especially Matt knows this. I mean, I deal with Pro Jacks a lot, right? Anybody that races professionally or at a car that level, Pro Jacks are amazing and they suck because they're heavy and awkward. So picking them up and trying to slide them into another trailer, dude, having them close to the ground where you slide them into a slot under there like Matt does is perfection. Yes. And
to expand a little on the jumper box, they've got those full, like project kits or whatever, and they have the little bitty air compressor in them. They've got an inverter in them. Dude, spend the extra $30 and get that thing. It's not that much bigger than a normal jump box. It does jump box duties, but it does other shit too. If your thing only does one thing, then look at another way to do it and incorporate multiple things into one thing because you only have so much space. Dude. So you have to do what I call in the Army field strip all your shit and bring it down to as small a space as you can get it, because the easier that your drive is, the easier your week is.
Dude, speaking of that couldn't have been a better transition to this. This is from Brian Lum, okay? This is AN wrench that is standard, then an adjustable, his temp gun, all of his tools for changing spark plugs, okay? And the spark plugs in one Milwaukee pack-out box. Now, I have to say, I love the Milwaukee pack-out box for what it does, but they're stupid money, like ridiculous. And you can do as good or better with some other, significantly cheaper options.
Buy them used.
Style cases or whatever.
Yeah. Buy them, whatever you do, buy them used. You don't need brand new stuff. You're going to be throwing this crap around on the, asphalt anyway. So odds are good. The second you use it, it's going to look like the one you would have bought used for half the money.
Yep.
So Facebook Marketplace is a great place. Like you said, Pelican cases are amazing. And you can buy those, and those have been out forever, and they've already got the foam inserts that you can pull out. And you can make it built for that thing. And again, you don't know what you're not going to bring, and you're going to run that shit over, and it's going to put you out.
100%. Pat Cook has a great one here too. E350 Ford ambulance battery boxes for undermounting the batteries. It's what they're made for. Dude, Wrecking Yard finds. That's great. That is really good. Speaking of which, dude, Scott Liggett, Rebel Driver, he has a work truck body that he got. Came on his
that old
Chevy
body style truck. Yeah.
And so his OBS truck, so his plan is to make that into his drag and drive trailer. And he and I have talked about it, about cutting the middle out of it and narrowing it up so it still has some bed in the middle. And then the toolbox is on the side. The bed in the middle, if you did it right, you could just slide your tires all in there. And that shit would be secure and great. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I got to tell you, I love that Josh Cook, too. This is super smart. PVC is amazing. Says he's cut 4-inch PVC pipe the length of the trailer and strapped it underneath the deck for extra water storage. Not a bad idea. Adam deals with PVC pipe every single day of his life.
Right.
That's a great deal. And it is very easy to do the math on how much water, you can store in this example. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's great.
If you want to get really weird, you can do one out of black pipe, and you can make a little shower or at least a hot water stand for you to wash your hands.
Absolutely. Yep. Danny Fatka says he found pack outs at Home Depot in the bargain aisle. I have Rigid brand ones that, yes, absolutely, I use to carry all my electrical stuff, which is great.
Like Brad mentions, and if you don't know, Brad's my longtime co-pilot. I got him involved in this as well.
And he still likes you. It's weird, but
it's really weird. I mean, there was one time that we pulled over on the side of the road, and I was like, if you don't figure out where we're at, I might just leave you here.
Yeah.
But no, that's not. But he's been great, dude, and it's so cool that he's brought his brothers into it. Now his girlfriend's all into it. It's super.
Dude, Brad is awesome people too.
Fiance, he's getting married very soon.
No way.
But yeah.
Awesome.
I'm officiating that one. Also, I'm getting married very soon.
You are,
and you're officiating mine.
I am. It's gonna be awesome.
Anyway, but like Brad said, practice this stuff.
Yes.
Go out, put all your stuff in your trailer, and then go take it for a 25-mile drive.
And here's one thing that I would tell you:
like a bag of dicks, you need to repack it.
Yes. And here's another thing to practice packing, so to speak. So, do you remember when I took my Camaro, I borrowed a trailer, remember? And so I didn't have the trailer. The trailer was meeting me in Pueblo for the beginning of Rocky Mountain Race Week. So I had never had it. So I asked for the dimensions of the trailer and I taped them off on my garage floor, and me and Steven stacked everything in them. Now, the interesting thing was the measurements I was given did not end up being measurements of the actual trailer in the wrong direction, but we still made it all work. But you can do that also and practice stacking stuff and figure out what you're going to do and, all that stuff. But I think Matt H has the single greatest plan ever. I recommend cutting your parts car in half and welding a hitch on the front. That way all the spare parts are bolted to the half of the car.
That's been done. Zach Dykins did it with a wagon version of his 4-door.
Yep.
And so, I mean, that's honestly, it's almost cheat code stuff because you've got an entire rear suspension.
Yep. Plus
wheels, plus tires, plus bearings, plus axles, plus, I mean, whatever. You name it, and you've got it.
I love it. Jason Schaefer says organized card parts, distributor, flyweight, springs, etc. If you keep things together that go together, and not just carburetor parts are here, but also put things together like Brian Lum did in that example where, you keep the tools and the parts that you're going to commonly have to deal with together, right? So having a spark plug kit that literally has your plugs and the tools you need for it is genius. That's a brilliant idea.
And I've got that same exact deal. Little bitty bags from Home Depot. They're little rigid bags, whatever. But each one does a thing. And so I bring I actually have probably 5 ratchets with me at any given time, but I've got a ratchet in the spark plug bag. I've got another ratchet in the rocker arm bag.
And sometimes that stuff sounds expensive, right? Because you're like, holy shit, I'm going to have 5 sets of ratchets or whatever. Dude, that's the exact time you go buy. Well, yeah, but that's the exact time you go and buy a Harbor Freight $10 ratchet. It's okay. Right. Because if you have 3 $10 ratchets in 3 different packs, if one dies, who cares? You have backups. It's fine, right? Totally. But just convenience-wise, it'll be good for you, Cole Anthony Meyer says, a motorcycle trailer without springs, a bad idea? Yes. And the reason that I say that is you're going to have enough weight to hold it down, but not enough to keep it from bouncing. And you are going to be on roads that are less than ideal at some point during the trip. So I would not recommend an unsuspended trailer personally. So, Earl Gozinski says that, they marked all the totes in their trailer with what was in them. And we did the same thing. Now, if you have a station wagon, I don't have a photo of this. I should have looked this up. If somebody else out there has a picture of this, send it to me on Facebook right now. I built I'm going to call it a tray. Okay. I called it a cart, for the back of Daphne's wagon that slid all the way into the back of the middle seat.
I remember that.
And it was yay tall. It was about 10 inches tall, let's say. It was a frame and rails around it, and it had wheels on it, and it rolled into the back of the station wagon with everything in it. And so then you could pull it out partway, but it also had legs that folded down. So you'd pull it out so it was hanging off the tailgate, and her car's on air ride. So you air the car, or you've got the car aired up, you pull it out, set the legs down, then start driving out from under it. And then the second set of legs would come down before the end fell off the tailgate.
Right.
And then lay it on its nuts and drag the car out from under it. You didn't have to unpack hardly anything because it was all in it. And the thing stood like 3 feet off the ground. And so in a pinch, you could get under it for shade or whatever, but it also just made everything was at that level. And it was really nice. And it worked really, really good. But it's a big, heavy thing too,
Right. If you have to work out of it, it's at a great level. But if you didn't hurt anything, you can also really drink a beer right off of there. No problem.
100%. 100%.
And Ray Spobo mentions and Matt Frost mentions when we're buying tools, guys, we're not buying like Snap-on, $350 ratchets here, guys. We're buying Harbor Freight junk. If the thing gets swiped out of your car, it's like, that sucked. But this is your whatever, anything. And again, you got 5. If one goes tits up, you got 4. You're still good.
Right. Yep. Agree wholeheartedly. This all kind of ties in too. So, I'm glad we got to show you guys some trailers. Again, this is question time. Any questions you have, hammer them on us right now. Whether they're trailer related or not, but especially if you got trailer related or whatever. But one of the other things too is, I want to dive into the will to live, right? I said we were going to talk about spare parts, trailers, and the will to live. The will to live goes along with what I said earlier about, like not giving up and thinking about the difference between a race fix and a survival fix. And the will to live, if you are not the kind of person that immediately when something breaks is thinking of the way to fix it so you can keep doing whatever the hell it is, then this is probably not for you. It's just not. And I'm not bagging on. I want everybody to do this that should do it. But keep that in mind, right? And if you know that your natural tendency is to be the guy that's like doom and gloom and we're out, then get a co-pilot that's the opposite of that. Right. Get a co-pilot that's Chad. Like, I'm like, we can fix anything. I literally made an idler pulley out of a Copenhagen can. I think it was Skoal, actually, dip can, and a roll of electrical tape. And I am not bullshitting you. It didn't last for long, but it lasted long enough.
I watched it. But no, and like you said, it's just, it's there's so many things that you can do before and during the event to keep you in the event. And that, again, you need to think about the second you start packing, you are third place with first place in your sights. And it doesn't matter, like I said, it doesn't matter what your car is. All of a sudden you might be in first place. So you need to be able to keep yourself in first place and earn that victory, because it's a marathon. You may have been outgunned by 2 seconds in your class, but if everyone ahead of you doesn't make it and you can limp your bullshit across the starting line on day 5, you're going to win. So figure out what it's worth to you when you start.
Steve McDermott says, might touch on double toe legalities and the kind of ignoring them in some states. What he's talking about is, like, if you're trying to get to the event and you have a Ford pickup and a car trailer, and in or on the car trailer is your, race vehicle. And then you have a trailer to pull behind your race vehicle that you're going to use during race week or drag week or whatever. How do you get all three of those things down the road? Not every state, but a lot of states will allow you to tow a little trailer behind a bigger trailer. And so it depends on your state. You got to look those laws up. In every state, you can do that legally if the trailer, the big trailer, is a fifth wheel, because at that point it's the same as hauling a set of doubles with a big rig, right? So that's totally fine. A gooseneck is not the same as a fifth wheel, even though we all know and love them. And so in some states that could be a gray area. But in Texas, like, you can do it with a tag trailer and 2 tag trailers. It's okay. There's like a total length deal, but check on that so you don't get in trouble.
Yeah, Earl just, you got to check where you're at and what's going on. I mean, it varies by, state and sometimes even county. So that's on you.
That's true.
Figure it out. But you'll, for the most part, they're not going to ham you up if you're not towing for money.
Correct. This was a good one from Earl. If you have a side door, and only have one side door on your, drag and drive trailer, make it be on the passenger side so that if you're stuck on the road, you can open that thing and get in it.
Right.
As McDermott says, if you're going to double tow, dude, you need to practice that shit beforehand, because otherwise it can be scary.
Yeah. Trey Allen wants to get into kind of like nuts and bolts. Turbo LS 19-gallon fuel cell on ethanol. Yeah. What parts and tools are mostly forgotten and needed, and thanks to us.
So 19 gallons is totally fine, even on E85. Okay, let's just say it's half. It's not half, but let's just say it takes twice as much fuel. And so you have half the range. Dude, 10 is like, who wants to, the truth of the matter is, in my opinion, if you drive more than 100 miles on a drag and drive event without getting out of your car, you're missing out on the fun along the way. So only time you would do that is if you were so far behind because you were broke and having to catch up or whatever. But otherwise, you want to stop all the time anyway. So bring your fuel, stop every hour and a half, and have a good time.
Plan on packing fuel, and I would plan on packing a full tank of fuel. So bring 20 gallons with you.
Or the other thing is, can you? Depending on whose ECU you're running and all that, and your tuning, comfortableness or whatever, like put a pump gas tune in the damn thing. And when you go to the race or when you're on the street, just put pump gas in it. Remember, like, we used to swap fuel in Daphne's car every event, every day, because we ran a bunch of nitrous on it. So it had to have really good fuel in it, but it ran on pump on the street. So we would pump that out. Well, all I did was take the return on the regulator and made another hose that went down into a fuel jug, and we would get to the racetrack and drain out the pump gas by making the fuel pump it. And we would do the same thing with the race gas at the end. We go, oh, I have 5 gallons. I don't want to burn that up on the street. So we pump it back out. So you can do that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would look at that too,
And then I would say the number one most forgotten thing and really most important thing is a fire extinguisher that you can get 100%. I'm amazed by the amount of cars I see without a fire extinguisher on them or near them. We lost a sick week car on sick week, or a sick ward car on sick week, burned to the ground. All of those, not all of those, the majority of those started as small fires that you can't get put out. If you pull over and there's a small fire and you can get it put out, you can save your car, you can save your week, you can save you can save your life. So bring a fire extinguisher. That's even if it's a little cheesy one, it's something, and it might buy you something. But the bigger the better. Get the ABC flavor, and it's gonna make a mess, and it's gonna suck, and it's gonna suck to clean up. But you know what sucks cleaning up more is the molten ashes of your car.
Yes, and the thing is, so Donovan saying my experience is my car runs 20 degrees hotter on pump over E85. Well, pull some timing and add more fuel, and that'll help bring the temp down. But yeah, I understand. I've run a car on E. The wagon runs on E now. But it depends on where you're at, and it's hard to get E in a lot of places, especially all the places where the corn grows, they make E out of. So, keep that in mind and make sure you bring plenty of fuel, and that where fuel is, have the E85 fuel apps and all those kinds of things.
And again, that's your local event should have a participants page, and a lot of dudes run E85. So you'll look out for each other. Hey, this E85 is no good. This E85 is good, whatever. And then every chance you get, E85 or not, like Chad was saying, I stop every 100 miles no matter what and put cool fuel back in the fuel tank. Because everything that's stored underground is going to be cooler than what's going to be in your fuel tank. So you just splash some cool fuel, and then in your case of E85, as soon as you find it, fill up everything you got with nice, fresh, cool fuel and roll.
And one other thing too, along those lines is be vocal to your event. So like, I'll use, Midwest Drags, let's say. If you're going on Midwest Drags and they, and you should reach out to them and ask them, I know you can't let us know what the route is, but how is E85 along the route? And the reason why I say that is because like on Rocky Mountain Race Week, either if I'm doing the route or Matt's doing the route or Adam's doing the route, whatever, we're all paying attention to that because we're racers, right? So we know, so we do the route, and I'm like, I did my route and I did the instructions, and it's in there given to June. Like, man, there is no E85 from here to there. So keep that in mind or whatever, and so, and of course, don't ever forget the number one thing. There's bad gas at Mimi's. Bad gas at Mimi's.
At Mimi's. Exactly. And exactly. So race week and Rocky Mountain Race Week, Matt will carry your fuel for you. So you can fill at a fuel stop that you can work out with him to meet him at, and you can fill out of his trailer, or you can fill at the racetrack when you get there as well. So kind of a little, it's a safety issue on the race week deal. And he's got all the clearances and truck driver paperwork and everything to carry around, a bit of fuel. So if you've got weird fuel, give it to Matt, and he'll have it for you to, like I said, meet you at a gas pump or allow you to fill it there at the racetrack.
Yeah. And guys, we're going to have more of these shows that are the Drag and Drive 101s. We're going to, like, Adam and I are going to figure out over the next couple of weeks how often we want to do one. I think we need to do one at least once a month. And I know you guys appreciate it. We'll have a topic like this time where, we're talking about trailers, for each one, but we'll take questions of whatever you've got. So, make sure you ask. And, if you're not comfortable asking us here live, send us a message or go on to RMRWers or, Sick the Mag or whatever event you're going to go on. Actually, it doesn't matter what event you're going to go on. If you're an RMRWers, come ask. It doesn't matter. Like, we all go and we represent and we support each other. And it's, it's good. So, I would say that when in doubt, you want to make sure you have more, like, so if I had to say I would rather have more of one thing and less of another in my trailer or in my, kit of stuff that I brought, I would rather have more spares that are unique to my car and the unique tools with less regular Joe Blow tools than the other way around. Because there will be somebody that can loan you the ratchet you forgot or the adjustable AN wrench or whatever.
Or you can buy that crap in a pinch.
Yes, exactly. But if you have a specialty tool or you have hard to find spares, dude, those are key, absolutely key to getting. One thing I would say, this is absolutely hilarious. Jonathan, you just said this perfectly. Jonathan Stevenson says, any suggestions on a cost-effective spare tire storage and hold down? This goes with what I was just going to say. Look at the things you need to store and figure out whether, and I want you guys to watch the video that Doug put up. I'll put the link.
Doug's
in the
video
chat.
is pretty good.
It's pretty good. And he tells like to take things out of boxes and this and that. But more than that, sometimes you have something that will take up space, but if you could bolt it to the wall of the trailer or zip tie it to the wall of the trailer or whatever, it would be a life-changing thing. Do that, right? Like those are the kind of things. So to go along with what Jonathan's talking about with the regards to spares, dude, every Harbor Freight, Tractor Supply, anywhere, Amazon, etc., all have like good spare tire holders and all that kind of stuff to get. But also you can be smart about it with some other ways. And there are some people that have some smart ideas. Somebody mentioned this earlier, and I've done this in the past, is if you get a bolt-on hub for your trailer, a bolt-on spindle for your trailer, the one that matches your trailer,
right,
and bolt it onto your trailer or weld it onto your trailer, and then mount a complete hub with wheel bearings and everything in it that your spare is then bolted to, you then have your hub, your spare tire, everything all together in one spot. Right there, taking up the same space that just a bolt-on spare tire holder would have held. So I will let you know that I'm also, I'm gonna look at some stuff as we go through the year, and as we find products that we think are good, and that, oh my God, this is something you have to get, we'll do links. That's the other great thing about a user group like RMRWers is that, like, I post trailers for sale all the time on there. I'll be on my local marketplace and find a motorcycle trailer. I'm like, hey, anybody looking for a trailer? Here's one for $600. Like I do that all the time. So if we all share products and stuff like that too, it really could help everybody out. So that's pretty good.
Exactly. And it may not be something that you need right now, but it's going to, who knows, dude, the guy down the street needs it. And, we are this big ass community, and this is, it's coast to coast and even over the oceans. And if you pick that trailer up, it could get through 6 hands, but it's going to get to its end owner in North Carolina.
Yeah. 100%.
No problem. And it'll probably do that for $0. So
exactly. Yes.
Utilize what you got.
We sent an AMC Javelin from California to Massachusetts, me and Freiberger, to Brian Loans in like 2007, and we called it the Red Ball Express. And this was not a running and driving car. It was just a roller. And we literally hauled it, like people drove it 100, 200 miles at a time and just back 2 trailers to each other, roll it onto the other one, and sent it. And it got all the way to Massachusetts to Brian. And there were a couple of people that were broke who said, man, I would do this, but I just can't afford to spend the gas money or whatever. And Brian was like, I'll send you some Shell gas cards or whatever. You know what I mean? So people could be involved. And it was a great deal. And I bet he didn't spend $250 and got a car shipped all the way across the country. And
that's awesome.
By the time he got it, it had all kinds of new accessories that we all
Right.
Now, this is a good question, and it's sensitive. Sometimes people have a hard time, but Chris Jeffries says, what's the suggested amount of money?
That's what I was just going to step
to have, before going on a drag and drive event. And Matt says $1,500. And he's right. Like, you got to have some cash with you. This will cost you.
That's high for what I carry.
Yeah.
I have 500.
Right.
But you can't not have it ready. You've got to have it available to you at an ATM, or on a debit card really quickly. And 1,500 is going to get you through the week minus hotels and fuel probably.
Exactly.
So, I would say for the entire week, I would plan on spending, again, depending on the caliber of car and the event, the length of the event as well, and how far away you are from home and whatnot. But from the second you walk in to the second you walk out, a 7-day event, you probably need to have $4,000 budgeted for.
I tell everybody it's $3,000 to $5,000 to do a normal drag and drive, and it is going to cost you more money than taking a week-long cruise to Mexico with your wife or any normal vacation. It is, unless you're a baller and you spend big money. It is going to be like, you just have to know that's how much this is going to cost you. Are there ways to do it on a shoestring budget? Yes, there are. But that requires a ton of planning and all of that. So yeah.
Right. And it's just part of the deal. I mean,
Yes.
I'm sorry if you're going to take a vacation anywhere for a week, it's going to be $3,000. We just had fuel costs. So, but you're going to eat out for lunch and for dinner every day. And if you have a good enough hotel, then you're going to have breakfast at the hotel.
Yeah.
But I mean, eating out now is not $5 footlongs anymore, guys.
No.
No. $12, $15 per meal, and I'm talking fast food kind of garbage.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you, you want to hear one? You'll laugh at this. So me and my buddies one time decided that we were going to go from Chico, where I went to college in Northern California, to Pomona for I don't remember if it was the Winter Nationals or World Finals. I think it was the World Finals because it was warmer. Anyway, dude, that's for all you people that don't know, California is the whole coast except for little bitty Washington and Oregon, right? So we drove the equivalent of going from like New York to Florida, okay, to go to a race. And we were all broke dicks and all we wanted, we just beer money and we piled in my Chevy pickup, the three of us, and off we went down the road. And at the racetrack every day at Pomona, we bought an entire loaf of bread, okay, and bologna and mustard. And we took all of that bread out and made the sandwiches and shoved them all back in the bag. Okay. So we had our loaf of sandwiches, right? And that's what we ate. Okay. For 3 days, the only food we ate during the middle of the day was cheapo sandwiches we made so we could afford to go to the races and be there and watch the racing and have a good time and all that stuff.
Right.
And we had one hotel room for one night. Like that's what we did. So if you are smart about it, you can do that stuff. Yes.
Right. But like, so here's a really good example. Pat Cook, he has the Grom.
Yes.
Says he was $1,600 for him, got 100 miles per gallon, and slept on the grass 2 nights.
Yeah.
So you can do it cheap. However, that's what it's going to take to do it cheap. You're going to sleep on the grass.
Yep.
And you're going to get really good fuel mileage. And you don't have anything go wrong. That's the other caveat to that.
Right.
If you have stuff go wrong, you're just going to need to take your checkbook out and start burning it to pieces because at that point it's the winner mentality. It's the finisher mentality is you're going to finish no matter what. And it's going to cost you some bucks, unfortunately.
Now here's one that I've been asked a million times. And so is Adam, I know. And it goes along with sharing rooms and Airbnbs. If you live along the way, if you know somebody along the way, whatever, you are absolutely allowed to go to your own house or your friend's house and sleep there for the night and whatever. You are allowed to go into your buddy's shop and rebuild your entire car. That's okay, right?
Right.
As long as you drive it there and drive it back to where you left the route, that's totally legal. Okay. So you can stay in your own house or your in-laws' house or your friend's house or whatever. I have stayed at Adam's house on multiple occasions, and it is because he lives 5 minutes from Bandamere, and it's awesome, right? So there is nothing wrong with that. Stay at home if it's along the route. That's totally okay. I will say that like the KOA, like campgrounds have the little cabins, which are rad. Airbnbs are a great way to go if you get the right deal and you get enough people staying at one together. That can be a really smart thing. That's hard to do in the middle of Kansas, but it's easy to do in Denver or in Florida or whatever. So keep that in mind.
It really depends on your car. If you've got an open header nitrous car, you're going to get the shit kicked out of you by Airbnb people. For bringing your nitrous open header car into a little neighborhood. Also, if you have a bunch of friends that are a bunch of no-wrenching MFers, and you've got problems, all of a sudden you're at an Airbnb and you're away from everybody. Everybody can help you if you're not in the middle of a race. But if you end up at an Airbnb and you've got 4 dudes that are picking their nose and filming you for TikTok, you're about to have a long night.
Yep, exactly. Agree wholeheartedly. And everybody should, dude, this is great. You're going to love this. I have Liggett just sent me this is a great race week trailer. I would totally take this because I am building a square body blazer like this. Oh my God, you guys are going to laugh at this. Like, hold on 1 second. Dude, this is great. Oh, this is awesome. I love this. Oh my God. Sometimes the things that you find. Oh, come on. Where the heck did it go? Here we go. Look at this thing. Look at this cool S10. That's just amazing. I love this.
There's nothing cool about that.
It is. It's awesome. It would be great.
Ridiculous.
It'd be great. Ridiculous. I'd be all over it. I'd be all over it. I love it. See, there's better pictures of it and everything. Oh yeah. Hold on. Hold your horses there.
If you've got friends to stay with while you're pulling that up, if you got friends to stay with, that's totally cool. You just need to make sure that you enter the route at the same place that you left the route. No big deal. That's an easy thing for you just to pick the route up right where you were, drive the rest of the way to the track. You also don't need to stay near the track. You can stay in the middle of nowhere and cut your drive into 2 if you want. Your call. There's no limits that say you have to use this hotel. You have to do this. It's just you got to do the route. So anywhere along the route, if you feel like pulling off and hey, this is where I'm going to get a hotel, and there's some no-tell motel in Bill, Wyoming somewhere, great. Pick it up, stay the night, pick up the route wherever you picked it off, and we'll see you at the racetrack in the morning.
James says that he's got a group doing Airbnb and it's going to be around $225 each total for the week. That's a great deal on hotel.
Super good deal. And the other nice thing you get with an Airbnb that you wouldn't get, and I know I'm going back and forth, but if you need to do laundry, you can do laundry at an Airbnb.
Yep. 100%. That's a great call. The other thing though, too, to remember is that, I wear the same thing every day. Like everybody knows, I wear black shirts and gray Dickie shorts. That's my jam, right? Anything besides the Dickie shorts, I can acquire on the road, right? There's Walmarts. They have flip-flops. They have boxer shorts. There's t-shirts at the racetrack, whatever.
Buy other racers t-shirts so that you can help fund their journey.
Exactly. So you'll be good. Let's see. Pat Cook says, I stayed a mile from Pinky's on the drive to Bandimere, which is awesome, right?
Yeah, that's maybe an hour from Bandimere.
Yep, exactly.
But right after the third checkpoint. But yeah, still an hour worth of drive. But again, on the Grom, dude, if you're tired, you stop, because if you fall asleep on a Grom, you die.
Yeah. Motorcycles, bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. Well, I have to say, I think that, you guys have had some great ideas, great questions.
Totally.
I've got some, more, great photos actually and stuff from Steve. McDermott sent me, pictures of his stuff. Actually, I'm going to share this. This is good right here, dude. Thank you for sending this. So this is Steve's trailer. And here we go. So here's Steve's trailer. You can see that this thing opens up.
That's cool. That's really
from
good.
The side.
Yep.
Nice. Simple. It's got hydraulic struts. It's holding up wheels and tires. Like, that's pretty badass, right? Mm-hmm. This is his battery box underneath. Now, this battery box is one of a jillion that you can buy that are a kit, okay, for trailer battery boxes,
right,
off-road battery boxes, etc. These things are cheap and easy, and it makes a really nice, secure deal with his battery. That's great. Mm-hmm. You can see it bolted through the rail. It's underneath the trailer in the middle. You can
Yep.
also see in this picture the lights right here. These are the lights he was talking about that are under the trailer, and light up red when he gets on the brakes. And here's what he's talking about.
Right.
Those lights, not only are you looking at the lights themselves, but they're lighting up the ground behind it and under it.
Right. That's good.
Cool. That's really
super
good. Super good on the visibility side of things. And that's badass. That's really good.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing.
Think about that. Bill Snyder, yes, you can tent camp at some of the racetracks. Rocky Mountain Race Week, most of the tracks are good about it.
Double check with your event for sure. And whoever's running your event will tell you if that's a cool thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Most of them, though, are if it's not inside the gate of the racetrack, it's right outside.
Right.
And you're relatively safe at most of those.
Yep, absolutely.
And a lot of tracks, depending on where you're at, again, a lot of tracks even have some showers and stuff at them.
Yeah. Great Bend has great showers. Right. It's awesome. And I'll tell you, at the end of the day of racing, we're going back to the hotel there in Great Bend, which is great. But you know what? If you've had a rough day and you are just wore out, and you're just nasty and all you want to do is go eat, but you just feel nasty, dude, go take a shower quick. Your friends will like it. You'll feel like a new person. It'll be great.
Exactly.
So,
I don't know what Steve's using for a controller for that. You can message him on Facebook would be the best way. Steve McDermott Jr.
Yep. James is 100% right. Truck stops for showers. Truck stops used to be like $5 for a shower. They've gone up a little bit. I think they're like $10 now. Still great. The truth of the matter is, if you go into your average truck stop, and like a Pilot or a Love's, one of the nice ones, they have great showers, big rooms that are nice, all that stuff. When I've done big road trips across the country, done them a bunch of times if I'm just sleeping in the car. But the other thing is, if you're in there a lot of times and you go up and you want to get a shower, there will be truck drivers like Matt Frost who don't use the showers because he drives only locally mostly, right? So, but they earn points. You earn showers at the truck stops and stuff. So a lot of times you'll be at the register and you go, hey, how much is a shower? And somebody will go, dude, I got a free one here, give him my free shower. Or the woman at the cash register will go, dude, we have so many free shower credits. Here you go. So it's great.
The great Michael Crow is asking if there's a hotel list for what event, Michael?
Yeah. Michael Crow is a badass.
He's got, stick shift Mopar, dude. I mean,
yeah.
But if you're talking about Rocky Mountain Race Week, I don't believe that's complete yet. I have no idea about Midwest Drags, Rocky Mountain Race Week. I don't think that's complete yet. I'm actually having dinner with Matt and June on Saturday, and I think we're discussing a bunch of that stuff during that. So once we get that all squared up, I think that an email will go out, and that'll happen to the email that you registered with. That list will come to. And that's actually kind of cool. It's good to note on Race Week and Rocky Mountain Race Week. They hire guards to guard the hotels that are on the official lists. So that's a good thing to wait for if you're worried about your stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, you want to keep that list private.
Correct.
When it comes out. We don't want to.
Literally what I was about to say.
The whole world know where we're staying and what car we're staying in, and just a little bit of situational awareness, especially on public pages. You don't want your stuff to get out. Some guy will say, "Man, that's a really, really nice A-body Mopar with the wheels up in the air that I'd like to own," and we're gonna go see where Michael Crow's staying tonight.
Yeah. So one of the things that I tell people all the time is, just because you can post everything in your life doesn't mean you should. So when you're on these events, post about, oh, we're at checkpoints. Oh, we're having fun at the racetrack. All those things. Do not do a picture of your car. Oh, we just got to the hotel and you got Holiday Inn Express Pueblo behind you. Don't do that. Okay. Make sure that you are not showing people where your junk is and that you're getting ready to go to bed. Right. There is nothing. There are two stupid things in life you can do. One is posting on Facebook, hey, It's 5:30 in the morning and I'm leaving my house to be gone for the next 2 weeks on vacation in Mexico. And oh, by the way, my house address is 12345, Bob Street. That's number one idiot move. Idiot move number two is, hey, check out my 69 Camaro parked in front of this hotel at this thing, and I'm going to go crash out for 6 hours. Don't be dumb.
Exactly. And I didn't know Michael Crow was coming on Rocky Mountain Race Week. So the legend, Michael Crow, apparently signed up for Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0.
I love it. I love it. Makes me so happy.
Makes
me so happy.
Stick shift, high wind, and Mopar, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have a good time calling that car.
Dude, and Michael, Crow and I, we've been across the country a lot over the years. It's been a while, actually, but good dude for sure. So it should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been live for 2 hours and 20 minutes at this point. And I know we could keep going, but yeah, it's late. And so
the legend's bringing his boy too. 2 generations of Crows.
Dude, that's awesome.
Very nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. We are going to announce, another one of these Dragon Drive 101 podcasts. In a few weeks, we'll do another one. Look for that. Look for us to do some posts on RMRWers and Sick Week and Drag Weekers, etc. We're going to post up some stuff asking you what kind of things you want to know about. So that we can decide on topics for each thing. But you guys have done a great job asking questions today. Adam and I, we appreciate it. We want to give you guys this information. And while I will beat on you sometimes about doing stupid stuff, it's because we want you to have the most fun you can have and be really successful at this. Okay. And successful means making it the whole way, still smiling and going, oh my God, I can't believe we had this much fun. Right.
Exactly.
So do that, and pay attention, and we will do everything we can to help you, because regardless of what event you're doing, again, it doesn't matter whether it's Sick Week or Drag Week or Sick Summer or, Midwest Drags or Rocky Mountain or any of those,
you name it.
Yeah. It's awesome. Right. We want you to have a good time doing this.
And all this stuff is very universal to all those events.
Yes.
Again, we're not going to really talk about one or the other on any of these. It's going to be very, very universal. It's going to work for everything that you got coming up.
Eric, you need to learn how to shift better. That's the problem, I guess.
That's a driver mod. Yeah. Your 89 Mustang, if it clashes, it needs synchros, my friend. That's a T5 problem.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Yes. So that means that you have not been shifting it properly, which in that car is to let it bounce off the limiter. And literally when it bounces off the limiter, it unloads the teeth and you can shift that thing. That's how T5s lived in Fox Body Mustangs for all those years, is using the RP. It would bang off the limiter and that would let you shift it without tearing it up. So there you go.
And overfill it. But anyway.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes. And Adam, dude, thank you so much for joining.
It was a blast.
It is, as always. I love you, dude. Tell the dog that, he's number one, because I know Klaus is losing his mind right now.
Yes, he is.
Because you have been ignoring him. And Otis is too. He's in there whining. I've
watched him walk by a couple of times.
He's
so
pissed. Yeah.
Tell him hi for me. And Stevie says hello.
Yes, I was going to say, and then give Stevie a big hug and a kiss.
Hell yeah. We'll get together soon. Thanks everyone for joining in, for asking good questions, for staying engaged for 2.5 hours. I mean, that's like 6 sitcoms, and we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Absolutely. Again, folks, you guys have been great, and we will see you. We'll see you on the next one.